As expected, after a failure of a 2019 season, the Boston Uprising have once again blown up their roster and gone for a fresh start. After signing the 25th player in the org's short history, can 2020 be the year they return to glory? Possible and LaFon once again for Elohel Esports, and today we're talking about the second to last place team in the 2019 season, the Boston Uprising.
And akin to how one might expect someone from Boston to behave, the Uprising have taken most of their team and dumped it into the harbor once again.
Boston? More like bossed off, am I right?
I am never letting you write the jokes again.
Yeah, we'll see about that. Anyway, we recently did a preview of the London Spitfire. Go check it out if you haven't already. And while we weren't too high on them, at the end, the conclusion we drew was that despite the unknown players, the coaching staff were too well regarded to throw a season. However, LaFon, that does not ring true for every team toward the bottom of the leaderboard.
Being likable does not win you games, that's for sure. And while the Uprising have become fan favorites during the offseason, in no small part due to Jerry's antics, do they have what it takes to handle the grind of the regular season?
Well, while there is some veteran presence on the team, with Color Hex, Axiom, and Fusions all returning from last year, it's still safe to say that there will be a lot of chances for pressure and stress to weigh on the rookies of this team.
And honestly, that pressure and stress is multiplied by the fact that this roster will probably be losing a lot, at least at the start.
Well, and let's give some credit where credit is due, LaFon, because there are some parts of this team you and I can agree are at the very least dependable.
I think you have to put respect behind Color Hex and Munchkin at the very least. Even with reduced playtime on the Soul Dynasty, Munchkin still performed fairly well, and Color Hex showed flexibility as he played both hit scan and projectile heroes last season. Even on the tank line, Fusions has been lauded as being a fantastic in-game leader, and he certainly does not skimp on the passion for the game.
True, but unfortunately, LaFon, I think that's where our faith in this roster ends for the most part. The rest of these new pickups for Boston largely come from losing contenders rosters, and I can't imagine they'll be the key to success here in the Overwatch League.
Largely from losing teams, except for Myeonbong, who hails from O2 Blast in Korean Contenders. While they didn't do so hot in playoffs, they ran riot over the regular season of Contenders, where O2 was far and away the best team. Only an entire shift in the game's rule set to role lock broke their hold on the region, and the flex support really shone there.
But the same cannot be said for Swimmer, Muffin, Jerry, and Brucin. Swimmer and Muffin both coming from Uprising Academy, which doesn't really have a history of success. Brucin joins the team from the bad version of Angry Titans, and Jerry from a lacklustre Meta Athena.
Winning hasn't really been a strength for those teams at all, but a team isn't bad because of one player. What can we take from their individual performances, and how can they perhaps adapt to the league? I
want to single out Swimmer here for sure, because while I can't say I'm convinced he's going to walk into the league and suddenly be a top 5 main support, he was the only long-standing member of the Uprising Academy, while time and time again, players were dropped around him. That says at least something towards how reliable and consistent his play is.
Well, even if the support line is consistent, what about the flex tank role? I think this is the part of the Uprising that I hold the most questions for. Muffin was signed to this team as a two-way player, and he doesn't have a lot of competitive experience. Most of his gameplay has been as a ladder streamer. And looking at the starting flex tank in Brucin, if you follow EU Contenders at all, he has had a string of bad luck, as he played for 1 point, Bazooka Puppies, and Angry Titans, all of which got smacked while he was on them.
And as wonderful as Jerry has been to spectate in the offseason, it's doubtful that he'll get much playtime over Munchkin and Color Hex unless their personal hero pools come into play.
And as if we weren't being negative enough, there are practically zero pre-existing synergies. None of these players, outside the returning members of course, have significant playtime with each other.
It's definitely a long shot to expect this team to come out the gate swinging, that's for sure.
We have been extremely critical of this roster, Paul. Not without reason, mind you, but I genuinely want them to prove us wrong. I want the Uprising to go through the season with a chip on their shoulder, ignoring everyone who said they couldn't win, and I want them to be flashy and fun to watch. We just don't have any proof that's going to happen.
Thanks for tuning in. If you liked the video, there is a button for that down below, and make sure to subscribe. Have we been too hard on Boston? Or maybe not even hard enough? Let us know what you think. And while you're at it, check out some more of our videos with Elohel Esports.